Hey everybody, it's Chris Hill with Dream Team United at Keller Williams. I am joined today by the team co-founder and team leader for Dream Team United, Faiyaz Dossaji. Faiyaz, good to have you with me today.
Thanks for having me, Chris. Pleasure to be here back in my hometown of Spartanburg, South Carolina.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Can we drill down on that just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Tell us your background. Tell us about Spartanburg. You said it's your hometown. Tell us more.
Yeah, I moved with my family to Spartanburg, South Carolina in 1986. So I was 5 years old from Tanzania in Eastern Africa. And so I've basically grown up in Spartanburg. I went to elementary school at Woodland Heights right here on the, I'm a West Side boy.
That's okay.
So for all you East Siders,
we won't
sorry.
hold that against you.
And then I graduated from Dorman High School, the old Dorman,
Okay.
in 1998, and then went to University of South Carolina. So I'm a South Carolinian and have been away from Spartanburg for a little bit of time ever since I graduated. But I'm loving being back in my hometown and helping grow a little bit of a real estate business.
It's great to have you back. I wouldn't be here if you had not elected to come back here, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about that. But tell us a little bit about your story, who you are. You gave us a little bit of your background, but tell us about your foray into real estate and then how we are where we are today.
Sure, absolutely. So, I was a defense contractor. I studied international relations in graduate school at Syracuse University in upstate New York. I was in D.C. for a bit, and then I was overseas working on an Army combatant command in Stuttgart, Germany, working basically on African affairs and the intel side of things. Mm-hmm. So nothing related to real estate. And then, I decided to come back to the Carolinas because my parents still live here. My family's still here. In fact, they still live on the west side of town. And I wanted to be a little bit closer as they were aging. And I decided I wanted to kind of do something more in the entrepreneurial realm. And, I had never bought or sold a home before, but, real estate was kind of pulling at my strings there because I was like, I can do something on the investment side. And so that's really where I got involved. I currently live in Fort Mill, South Carolina, which is a suburb of Charlotte. And that's where I started in real estate. We started an investment group. And then I also obviously had my licensing that helped me on the residential side.
Okay. How long have you been an agent?
Yeah, I've been an agent since 2015.
Okay.
And then we've had our team since January of 2018. So it seems to me not very long, but I guess for some people it might be.
I know for maybe many of the people that are listening and watching, they've heard of teams. What does that mean in real estate?
Yeah, so there's a lot of agents out there, right? There's over 1 million agents in the United States, and a single agent is kind of like exactly what that is. It's an individual agent who's kind of doing everything. They're doing the sales part of things. They're doing the marketing. They're doing the transactions. They're doing everything. For us, we're more in a corporate style structure, right? We are looking at how do we bring people who are specialized in their things that they're good at, and how do we provide better service to the client in that sense? So, for example, I'm the team leader. I still sell real estate. I help buyers and sellers every day. However, I'm not best at the marketing side of things. Have I done it before? Absolutely. But I've got a director of marketing on my team who focuses on that. I'm not the best of creating systems and processes. I've got somebody who's better than that for that. And I've got a director of operations, et cetera, et cetera. I've got people who are doing the behind the scenes transaction coordinator. And what does that mean for the average consumer? That means when you go under contract, all the behind the scenes stuff that sometimes you don't know, like how do we communicate with your attorney? How do we communicate with your lender? All the things that have a smooth transaction, we have people who specialize in those things.
Tell me more about when you realized that that model was going to better serve you from solo agent to founding the team, and tell us a little bit about your partner and just the genesis of how at the time Carolina's Dream Team was born. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, an individual agent, look, we have only 24 hours in the day, right? And hopefully you're not working 24 hours in the day. But at a certain point, when you have enough clients, there's only so much more work that you can do in the hours that you have allotted to yourself. And then when that happens, service to the client starts failing, right? You forget something, and it's just human nature, right? So we look at ourselves as just like any other company. At a certain point, Apple started with Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs in the garage, right? But then they added layers that provided greater service to the client. We are no different. when we start having more clients who need more help, we have to start adding layers. And so for us, that was what was really important. Providing exceptional client care is the reason why we have a team, not the other way around.
Right. What brought that about for you? At what point was there an epiphany? Was there coaching or mentorship you'd received? What made it for you a decision that, hey, I need to consider building out those types of processes? And I'd like to know about your partner, and tell us about Mike and how you guys came together.
So for me, that was always a goal from day one before I'd even sold a home. Because again, I'm an entrepreneur by heart, and I knew that, I was going to hit a ceiling at a certain point where I can't do more. So building a team was always a goal, not from an ego perspective, but from the perspective of providing the client with the best client care. And so myself and my business partner, Mike, we connected because he's a former Marine. I'm a former defense contractor. So kind of like personality wise, I kind of got where he come from. He came from Intel as well. So we knew our worlds from outside of real estate. And so we kind of connected on that. So we were friends first before we were business partners. Right. Yeah. So, we merged our teams together. We had small operations. He had a transaction coordinator. I had one as well. His transaction coordinator is currently our director of operations. And so we merged in 2018. We had synergies. Again, some of it was personality based, but some of it was also business based, obviously, right? We wanted to grow. We wanted to make the pie bigger, not only for ourselves, but provide our clients with greater service.
Hey, thanks for sharing with us a little bit about the genesis of the team. Tell us a little bit more about Spartanburg, how we came to know each other, and just where the team is as a whole, other operations that you have, and kind of where we are presently, and where you see the future being for the team.
Sure. We started again with 4 people in 2018. We're right around 45 to 50 some odd members on our team. The majority of our operations are in the Charlotte area, Fort Mill, Rock Hill. So we cover a large part of that. But Spartanburg was really something that attracted me, again, before I'd even sold a home. That's our second biggest operations, which you're a part of. We have 5 members here, located right here on Reeville Road, or John B. White. So we've invested heavily because I believe in Spartanburg so much. We have operations in Asheville, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Chapel Hill, and our newest one is in Columbia. So our goal long-term is to be in every single metropolitan area in the Carolinas, Charleston, Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, et cetera, et cetera. So we're working on that. But Spartanburg is, to me, it's kind of like my baby, you know? So, we've got a team here that's growing successfully and providing great service to our local clients.
Tell us a little bit about, for those that know you or know me or some of the other people on the team, the 45 plus members across all the locations. Tell us a little bit about the name change, because we were not started as Dream Team United. We were started as Carolina's Dream Team. Tell us a little bit about that.
When we labeled it, when we branded it, I said to Mike, I was like, man, we're kind of bordering ourselves in North and South Carolina because my vision is big, right? And we went with it. But in March of 2023, we decided, hey, listen, we're going to be outside of the Carolinas at one point. So let's change our name to Dream Team United, which opens up the borders to anywhere, whether it's up and down the East Coast, whether it's nationally. It could be international if you wanted to. Who knows? So it just opens it up.
Tell me where you see the future. What does the next 3 to 5 years look like for the team?
Yeah, well, my short-term goal, in probably the next 2 to 3 years, is again to be in pretty much every metropolitan area in the Carolinas. Look, we've already had opportunities to be in Texas, in Virginia, and in other areas outside of the Carolinas, but it wasn't the right time or the right fit for us. The Carolinas, fortunately, pretty much over the last 5 years, any market in the Carolinas has been pretty good. So it's not necessarily a market-driven strategy for us. It's more about talent.
You mentioned fit a second ago. So it's interesting that you brought that up. Give some perspective on how the locations that you have and the locations that you're considering, how you go about determining whether it's the right play. Talk about what fit looks like and what that means to you and Mike and the team.
Right. Okay, so while we're not a franchise, we want to replicate the same level of service that we have at the hub everywhere else, right? So for example, if you go to McDonald's in Spartanburg and you go to McDonald's in California, your hamburger should be the same. Your service should be the same. The taste and everything should be the same, right? So distance shouldn't like be the difference.
Right.
The culture, or Chick-fil-A, right? I mean, you know, whenever you say thank you to someone in Chick-fil-A, they're gonna say my pleasure, right? That's great training. That's great client service. I want the same type of thing, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter where we are, it should be the same. So for us, we can replicate the systems. We have to find the people that can actually do the job and be in alignment with who we are.
So how do you do that? Because there may be people that are listening in real estate. There may be people in outside industry that their biggest concern is finding the people. Right.
Right.
It's they have some mastery of what they're doing, the product or service they're offering, but it's the human resources, the human capital. It's where do I find the talent? How do you and the team go about identifying that? How do you put forth a plan, a platform, a way to make sure that as best you can on the front end, you're finding the right people at the right time and the right opportunities to give you the best recipe for success?
So our best talent, a couple of different places. Number one, our best talent sometimes comes from people that are currently on the team, right? They want to attract people. They like working within our team. And so they want other people, their friends, their former colleagues or whatever, family, whoever it is, to come work in the same environment because they like the environment, okay? Number two, it's a lot of a relationship-based personalities, right? Chris, you and I were introduced by Todd Korohai, who's a team lead in the Spartanburg office, right? I had a relationship with Todd. Todd knew like what my vision and my goal was, and that's how he connected us. Other people are like, for example, in Columbia and Greensboro, we have agents who I've been working with for years. So I know how they do business, and I like the way that they do business, whether they were individual agents or whether they're on another team. And then they decided, hey, you know what, Faiyaz, I like the way you do business, and I want to partner up with you. Can you tell me more? And then sometimes it's organic. People, like our brand is pretty well recognized throughout the Carolinas. I would like to say that we have a good reputation for the way we do business. We're ethical. We're, obviously client forward. And so some people are like, hey, you know what? I'm interested in this team. Can you tell me more, the benefits that you provide by being on your team? And so a conversation just starts, and then we talk about it. And sometimes it's not always the case, right?
Sure.
But we want people to be in alignment with our vision, and I want to partner with people that I can help them achieve their goal.
How much weight is put on their experience level?
It's not. I mean, I have people ranging from very experienced agents on my team who were helping to double and triple their business, their existing book of business. And I have people who literally this is their first job ever, right? It's not about your skill level, or it's not about your experience level. It's about your willingness to learn. It's your willingness to serve people, and it's your willingness to just go and do the work, right? I want ethical people. I want people who are client focused. You can teach real estate, but you can't teach people to be good people, right? That's just kind of like innate in you. So I want people who are like in that alignment.
So the makeup of the team then sounds like you have various experience levels. What about other aspects of diversity on the team?
Oh my gosh. That's like one of the things I think is so cool about our team. We've got people from 4 different continents. I've got 16 or 17 languages on our team. I mean, that's cool. Like we are not, we're very heterogeneous, right? We've got people, again, that maybe this is their second or third career. Meanwhile, we've got people who this is their first time. They just came out of school or high school or college, right? And they're like, I'm interested in real estate. So I love the diversity of our team because it brings different life experiences. It brings different professional experiences. And when you're merging all that together, we learn from each other.
I'm excited about an event that the team hosts on Monday, our basically Thanksgiving celebration.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I think you're the one that actually labeled it. It's called DeGobble, right? We named it that. And what everyone does is they bring in food from their different background, their cultural background, things like that. So we'll have like a whole team get together of foods from around the world. So it's like Spartanburg's version of the International Food Festival, right? Well, we have it on our team. It's so cool because everyone gets to make whatever they want to that they're comfortable with.
So I'll give credit where it's due. I wish I could take credit for it, but Belvang.
Bill.
And it actually leads to the next question I was going to have for you, which is, what is DeBiggle? People ask me, what is DeBiggle? But DeBiggle, which we'll talk about in just a second, Belle in her interview was wanting to make a good impression and demonstrate she had done her research about the team. And in that interview, she made a comment about the culture and how she wants to contribute to the culture and be a participant in the multiculturalism on the team. And she said, yeah, like y'all's big lunch that you do in November, the DeGobble event, which everybody on the team found very hysterical.
Right.
Tell us what DeBiggle is.
We talked about that. Well, I'm actually curious. Like, we talk about dreaming big. We talk about inspiring growth and building big lives, right? And like, it's like this motto and this slogan that we talk about on the team, but we actually believe it. Mm-hmm. We've had several people on our team that have never owned a home, mm-hmm. right? But they're in real estate. And so, like, how do we help people achieve those goals? Like, I want people to dream big. And it's not just for our clients, but it's also for ourselves. Like, I want people to be like, you know what? I want to be able to take my spouse on a vacation and not have to think twice about it. I want enough money for my kids and education that I don't have to worry about some of these mm-hmm. things. I want people to dream big. I want to inspire growth in that. Mm-hmm. So for us, it's not just about selling homes. It's about creating a culture where people literally come in and they have a belief system that they buy into and that we're pouring into people. So that's super important for us.
So if you see DeBiggle on a hashtag, it's dream big, inspire growth, enrich lives. That's what it means. And DeGobble is when we feast, basically.
That's absolutely.
I really look forward to that.
Dude, we're going to feast next week.
Tell us a little bit about what you've learned as the visionary and co-founder with Mike, because you started very small and in a fairly short time period to grow to 6 locations and 45 plus members on the team. What are some of the things you've learned about that? What are some of the ahas if somebody's listened to us and they have a similar vision in real estate or in another industry and they think, I'm not at the top, but I'm always going to be striving and I'm very small right now, but this is what I see in 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. What are some takeaways? What are some nuggets that you've learned? Because I know a big part of your life and a lot of the value you bring to the team is you spend a lot of time in masterminds. You spend a lot of time with very high-level coaches and not being the smartest person in the room, like being surrounded by people that are at a different level. Tell us a couple of the nuggets that you would take away maybe and share with people that are aspiring to dream big and inspire growth and enrich lives.
Well, when someone said you don't want to be the smartest person in the room, that was really weird for me when I first heard that because that didn't seem right to me. But now I love that. And I love being not the smartest person in the room on our team. I've literally been in meetings before with like our director of operations or our director of marketing or our director of sales, and they say something, and I'm like, I have no idea what you just said, but that sounds really cool.
Right.
Let's implement, right? And there's a great trust value because we're bringing people into our world that are better than us. That's how you improve. That's how you grow. That's how you get better.
How do you get over that mental hurdle? Because for a lot of people, that would be an intimidating place to think, I want to have this locus of control. If I know everything, that puts me in a power position.
Yeah.
How do you give that up to say, I want to be challenged. I want to be around people that are pulling me up?
Because that's all about ego. Once you understand that ego is a thing that can get you to a certain place, but it can also stop you from getting to a certain place, that's when growth happens. Listen, my name is not on the team name. Neither is Mike's. That's also letting go of ego, right? I could care less about my personal I want to grow, but it's not about me. If my people grow, if my people are doing well, I will benefit as well. It's togetherness. So letting go of the ego has been one of the most important things to the growth of myself and to the team. You asked about like other things that I had learned. again, I was an individual agent. I was the only one doing things at a certain point. And until I realized that there were people who were better than me, and I had to like let go of that for them to thrive, that was a big turning point for me. I think that's something that agents have a hard time understanding, that when you do leverage, when you let go of ego, when you let other people in your world grow, like that they will actually bring you up too.
I saw something somewhere, and I can't give credit where it's due, but it said if you want to go far, you do it alone. But if you want to go further, you do it with other people, right? I probably butchered that, but the long and short of it is, I think that people hit a ceiling at some point. And work-life balance, which is one of the reasons people get into our industry, is because they see the opportunity to use that entrepreneurial mindset and be their own boss and control more of their time and such. They realize that if they're going to do all those things and they're going to do all those things themselves, it is taxing, it's challenging, and they hit a ceiling at some point, whatever that looks like. So I guess maybe a couple of thoughts in closing. Tell us a little bit about what you would say to someone who's considering either entering our industry, like maybe they've never been licensed and they're considering real estate, or perhaps someone else in the audience may be thinking about, I don't know if it's for me, and maybe I'm thinking about exiting. What would you say to those two people? Not current folks that are maybe in high production, et cetera, but someone who's thinking about coming into the business or someone who's thinking about maybe exiting the business.
All right. So for those who are thinking about coming into the business, I remember when I was in the business in 2015, I had never bought a home. I had never sold a home. I knew nothing about real estate. Like all I learned was what I had in real estate class. My parents, I didn't come from a family of people who had bought and sold a bunch of homes. We literally bought one home. That was it. And that was a home that my parents bought years and years ago. So we were not real estate people. And then Gary Keller was like, you can be anywhere you want to be in the next 5 years. And I thought that was a bunch of crock, honestly. And real estate has completely transformed not only my life, my family's life, but a lot of lives that are in my world. So it has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me, no doubt about it. I feel more stable and secure in my professional life than I ever have in other careers that I was previously. I have definitely put in the grind. There's no doubt about it. So for those newbies who are thinking about, hey, I'm thinking real estate, I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to understand that there's a lot of hard work involved. There's a lot of, like if you're focused on people, a service-based industry, and if you're willing to put in the hard work and are learning-based, I encourage you to like explore the industry. Talk to, whether it's you're joining as an individual agent or you want to talk to a team that has resources at play. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For those of you guys who are, maybe having some difficulties and some challenges right now in this market, self-reflect. Why are you having those difficulties? Have you put in the work that you feel is necessary to get obviously the results that you personally want? And so it's a lot of self-reflection right now. And some people have put in the grind and it's still not being successful, right? And for those who are, I would say, before you get out of the business, I would say talk to potentially a team. I think one of the benefits and value propositions that we have is we have resources at play, right? I can't do the business that I want to do if I don't have a team. That's just me. I'll give you an example. Mike and I, as individual agents, always wanted to do like client events and things like that. Man, that takes labor, that takes time, that takes money, that takes effort. Just don't have it, right? Now we're able to do all that across all of our operations. I mean, we did Spring Fling here in Spartanburg. We did a movie event for our clients just a couple of weeks ago. So those are the types of things of value added. What does that do for our agents? It brings a greater connectivity and resources for our agents to their clients. And so we want our clients to come back to us so that we're always a resource for them. It makes the agent's life a little bit easier, in my opinion, when you have all those resources at hand.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I'll kind of close with this thought. I saw something just on social media a couple of days ago in a mastermind group that said, in one sentence, how would you describe, our industry and market right now? And I thought about what I wanted to respond, and what I came up with is it's full of opportunity. It's full of opportunity for people to make a living, a great living. It's full of opportunity for buyers. It's full of opportunities for sellers. It's full of opportunities for investors. So regardless of what's taking place in the world right now, real estate has changed my life 2.5 years ago when I met you, changed the trajectory of my life. I'm grateful for that. I'm very proud of the team and proud of Keller Williams and the opportunity that we have to impact people's lives. But it's full of opportunity. So I appreciate you spending time with us today. Thank you
Can I
absolutely.
add to that? So it's funny because people are always asking me the questions, how's business, how's business, right? Whether times were good or times were a little bit slower. I feel like we have a company and a team that is not necessarily at the whims of the current market. Is that always the case? Not necessarily. Like there are some factors, that we can't control, and maybe business will slow down or maybe it'll pick up a little bit. However, I think there's something to be said about the fact that our team this year is up 5 to 10%. Meanwhile, a lot of real estate businesses are down 20, 30, 40%.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with, again, it's not market driven, right? Because the market itself is down 20, 30, 40%. It's not market driven. So why are we up 5 to 10%? A lot of it is systems and processes. A lot of it is accountability and kind of like what we have internally. So I like what we have. Our foundation is super strong. And so when times like this happen, I actually look at it as an opportunity. Just like you said, there's a lot of opportunities. This is an amazing opportunity for us to actually go get more market share.
Yeah. Maybe a subsequent podcast we can spend a little bit more time into some of the mechanics of how those numbers are, what they are right now. And
absolutely.
Very appreciative of your time and for sharing your thoughts on this. Thank you for investing in Spartanburg. Thank you for having the vision to bring a team here, the first expansion operation, and allowing me the opportunity to work with you and the rest of the folks on the team. It's really a pleasure. Thanks everybody for tuning in today. We hope you found some value in it, and stay tuned. Maybe we'll see you again sometime soon.